My name is Dr. Venu Gilapalli. I was on staff at Houston Methodist The Woodlands and got suspended and ultimately terminated due to the vaccine mandate.
You did not want to get vaccinated?
No. The level of fear among our colleagues, among the medical staff, in terms of expressing their opinion, whatever it was, because they were afraid that they were going to be retaliated against by the institution, Houston Methodist, was off the charts and continues to be off the charts.
Dr. Mary Crow is an oncologist hematologist who, like Dr. Gilapalli, lost privileges to practice medicine at Methodist for refusing the vaccine.
You have the right to put up your hand and say, what the hell is going on here? Please explain this to me, and not risk obliteration of your personal and professional life.
Dr. Mary Talley Bowden, an ear, nose, and throat specialist, also lost privileges at Methodist.
I've tested over 80,000 people for COVID, and that's what first alerted me to what was going on, because we keep track of who's vaccinated and who's not. And the patients who were vaccinated and testing positive were just as sick, if not sicker, than the ones that weren't. And eventually I saw more vaccinated patients testing positive than unvaccinated, and that's when I really became vocal, and Methodists did not like that.
In 3 months, it was reported that at least 174 health systems were mandating COVID vaccines. Methodist filed by employees got dismissed. The federal judge ruled that the hospital had made a choice to keep staff, patients, and their families safer. Many at Methodist agreed. But these seasoned professionals claim the vaccine mandate didn't make patients safer at all. And they gave numerous accounts of vaccinated employees coming to work ill. Owen Robinson is a critical care registered nurse.
At that time, the management in the Methodist ICU forced 2 nurses to come in sick, positive with COVID, with symptoms, fevers, and take care of patients in the ICU. So that completely obliterates our argument as far as patient safety, because there's nothing more unsafe than having sick nurses taking care of immunocompromised patients in the ICU. One nurse was so sick, she had a trainee, a new nurse, and she spent the entire day sitting at the desk, most of the time with her head down on the desk because she was so ill, and her trainee was taking care of the patients.
Robinson says he originally agreed to get fully vaccinated to keep his job, but was fired after he refused the booster.
As far as the people who were vaccinated, they still got sick anyway.
And you were vaccinated.
I was fully vaccinated.
And you got COVID.
And I got COVID. Lots of the nurses in the unit got COVID. And then some of them got COVID multiple times. And then even after the booster came out, there were nurses who were fully vaccinated and boosted who still got COVID more than one time. So we didn't see any efficacy, particularly with the booster. I wasn't going to get the booster because it seemed completely pointless and useless, and so therefore I was terminated.
Nurse Carol Avila and Given Fessler, a respiratory therapist, both got religious exemptions from the mandate due to the vaccine's use of cells from aborted fetuses. They were tested weekly for COVID while working at Methodist until last fall.
They came out with a new vaccine called the Novavax, and they gave us a 10-day warning saying, good news, there's a new vaccine out that does not go against your currently approved exemption. I applied for another religious exemption, and they came back a few weeks later and they denied it, and they gave no reason for the denial. They just said it has not been approved. So I ultimately gave my notice and I went somewhere else.
I did have COVID in January 2021, and that was also one of the reasons that I didn't want to be vaccinated, besides my religious beliefs. But I also had to get tested every single week, and I never tested positive. And then my coworkers who got vaccinated, double, triple vaccinated, they all got it in my area. So it just was a confirmation to me that I did have the antibodies, because I've never gotten it again.
The religious exemption issue, Houston Methodist has made into a joke. I had a religious exemption against the flu vaccine at Houston Methodist. my religious exemption for the COVID vaccine was denied. My religion has not changed.